A very good afternoon to all. In this video, we are going to discuss the clustering on design thinking stages based. Okay. This clustering means is nothing but the grouping. First, we have to analyze why we need to group this cluster. What will be the outcome? How we are going to cluster group the cluster or group. We are going to form a cluster. Okay. For that, we have to define the clustering concept. First, it is a process of grouping similar items together. Then the clusters, it should be very similar to each other, but it should not be a same object. Okay. And it should be very different from the objects of other clusters. Each cluster, it contains the different objects. We can say that intra-cluster similarity between objects is high when you compare with the inter-cluster similarity. Okay. The important human activity based used to year the childhood in distinguish between the different items such as car, cat, animal, plant. Animal will live in plant. Okay. The animals will be grouped separately, then plants. Okay, like that. Then for this, we are going to apply the supervised and unsupervised classification to categorize the objects. Okay. For that, first we have to iterate the 4 steps. Okay. What is the classification? Why we need to classify the objects? Okay. For classifying the objects, it will use the distance measures. The next one is the supervised classification or learning. Which one we are going to use? Whether we are going to apply the supervised or unsupervised classification algorithm to group the items. Then how we are going to use the self-organizing map. Self-organizing maps, the graph will be given. So through the visualization, we can group the clusters. Then how it could be done? That will be defined by the types of clustering algorithms. The clustering basically they have 5 types: hierarchical method, partitioning method, or grid-based methods we can use, or clustering algorithms that might be used. Then high dimensional data. These are the 5 types of clustering algorithms which is used to group the or classify the clusters. From this method, we can use any one, okay, or else we can apply one by one, and we can see whether which one is having the best result. Okay. In this, the partitioning method, it is used to partition the cluster by using these 5 algorithms: relocation algorithm, probabilistic clustering, K-meroid, and K-means methods. In this 5 algorithm, we are going to implement this K-means method in prototype. Okay. The classification versus clustering. Classification, it uses the supervised learning. First, it will learn the method for predicting the instances in the class. For that, you can see there are 3 symbols are there. So 2 symbols, circle and square. How we are going to group it. Okay. And also here also you can look. Here all the squares are grouped in one cluster, and this side it is grouped in another cluster, and this one. And but for this kind of clustering, it will use the unsupervised learning. First, we have to find out the natural grouping. Then after that, with unlabeled. Okay. Then after that, we have to name a cluster. Okay. The clusters can be evaluated by using a benchmark or manual inspection. The cluster quality, it will be measured by using the distance measures and similarity. And this is the formula to calculate the distances between the objects. These are all we have to do a definition part before we are going to the implementation. Okay. Then next we are going to apply the K-means algorithm for clustering. Here it will work with numerical data only. First, it will pick a number. Then we have to randomly choose any one object. Then from that, we have to identify the nearest cluster center using Euclidean distance. And the next we have to move the cluster center to mean of its assigned. Then we have to move and find out the all possible. Here in this example, in this implemented, what we have did means cluster, okay, K1, K2, K3, three objects were identified, cluster centers were identified randomly, okay, and that too it is named and it is shaded, okay. Next we have to assign each point closest to cluster center. You can consider this green. The green nearby objects are marked in green, red, red, blue, blue, okay. Then next, the step 3, next what we have to do, we have to find out the mean of each cluster. Okay. The mean, it will be calculated the number of objects in each cluster. The K1, you can consider K1 from K1 to nearest objects. Then next step, we have to reassign the points closest to different new cluster centers. Then from this, we have to decide which point we have to reassign, because previously we had a two points. If previous this, just we have identified the cluster K alone center. Okay. Then after that, it is created a new one by using a mean. Then after that, you have to decide which one I'm going to keep and which one I'm going to remove. So based on that, the 3 points animations will be get created. After that, recompute the cluster means. Okay. After this animation, we have to do a mean calculation. Then move cluster center to a cluster mean. Nearby, based on the mean value, the cluster numbers will be moved. Okay. In this way, we can implement the K means. Thank you. And this is the your reference link.